Sorry, y'all. I really wanted to get this review out on time, but see, I've been dealing with the morons at FedEx and trying to get a package on time. Unfortunately, when they give you a window of 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., that means they have to deliver it at 7:59 at all times. At all times. Anyway, we open the episode with PK and Dorit moving into their new $6.4 million house. Apparently, the house is in Dorit's name and not PK's name, and which people are thinking that's really strange because of the allegations and stuff they're going through. Like in the tabloids around this time when they were filming, they had a bankruptcy, they had said that they were renting. They had to freeze PK's assets. So yeah, like they're asking them. Well, the production is asking them, is any of this true? They're brushing it off, and then Dorit's answer to having in her own name. Well, is she's asking the producer, is him and his wife, is their house in both of their names. Like we give a fuck what's going on with the producer's life. Like they're not being paid to have their life on camera. You are. So yeah, they're brushing all the lawsuits off and they're talking about how silly everything is. So then the producer is asking PK, about his background and stuff like that, life before Dorit. Apparently he was really rich, like very rich, and then afterwards something about his company took like a financial tsunami hit or something like that. They might be broke. They might be con artists, but for right now, I guess they're still, floating above water and faking it for all of us to see. Instead of like tackling the issues head on, PK basically brushes it off and talks about Dorit having a new closet. Yeah. Next scene, we have Garcelle. She's driving with a friend to her new unfinished house, the one that she currently lives in present day. It looks like a cute house. It's a 5-bedroom, 4,000 square feet house. We get into more background of Garcelle, and let me just say, Garcelle is just killing it. Just killing it on the fashion, and the hair is laid. Lord, I'm living for her. I really do love her on this show. Really do. Anywho, we get into her background of her being a divorcee. She was in a 9-year marriage with a philandering husband who she found out by looking at his phone that he was having an affair with a woman in Chicago for 5 years. 5-year affair. So then she gets into the tabloid post of her basically emailing all of his contacts saying he's a cheating, lying motherfucker and how could he do this? And I guess someone leaked it to the press. So yeah, I mean, she did what any other scorned woman would have done. I mean, could you imagine someone you've been with for 9 years cheating on you for half of that? And while she's explaining all of this, like you can really tell it hurt her because she's really choked up explaining this to everybody. I really do appreciate her like inviting us into her life. She's so interesting. I love it. So then we have the next scene of Teddy and Renna. They're going like on a walking trail. And then we get into Renna talking to her about her daughter's struggles. And I'm sure that her privileged white daughter has so many aches, troubles, and pains and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I don't really care to hear about it. So next scene, we're in New York City with Kyle and Sutton. Sutton is meeting Kyle for drinks and dinner. Kyle is still in New York City for her fashion line for like another gala or something like that. Soon as Sutton sits down, I already feel sorry for the waiter. She looks like she is one of those customers who will be a motherfucking handful. And she was. So as she's talking to Kyle, we get into a background of Sutton. And it looks like she was in a 17-year marriage with a man who was filthy rich and looks like she had a really hefty divorce settlement because she is paid. And then we find out that she's having a store opening in West Hollywood. Now, throughout this entire dinner, she's just so snooty and pretentious and elitist. Like, in a wacky way. I don't really hate her because I love what she brings to the show. Because I can't like everybody on this show. But yeah, she's talking about naming Kyle's line like yacht wear. And I'm like, well, Kyle said it before I even thought about it. Like, well, not everyone has a yacht. So you're excluding a bunch of people right then and there. And then she brings up a yacht again, saying like, oh, yacht rock. Yacht rock. You don't know what yacht rock is? Yacht rock. Yacht rock. It's music on a yacht. Jesus. Meanwhile, in LA, you have Denise and her husband, and they're basically getting comfy in their new home. If you didn't watch last season, their last home got burned in a fire. So they're in this new home, they're describing it, they're just getting, relaxed in it. And they're discussing news about Charlie Sheen, putting her out there, putting her business out in the streets. And all while she's talking about this, it's really hard to pay attention because her husband is so fucking attractive. Like, it's really distracting. Like, he is fine and really handsome. So yeah, I really didn't even pay attention what Denise was saying about her lawsuit with her husband. Well, her ex-husband. And then we also find out she needs surgery for a hernia that she's getting very soon. So in the next scene, we meet up with Erika Jayne and Garcelle meeting up for like an early brunch. Garcelle killing the fashion. She walks out looking just stunning. Even Erika Jayne, who's usually on point, acknowledges it and says, oh girl, I gotta step my fashion game up. I just love it. I love this entire lunch scene with them. So we get to Garcelle talking about she has a third child. He's 27, 28, around the same age as Erika Jayne's son. She's saying that he has a baby on the way and she's going to be a grandmother. And this scares the shit out of Erika Jayne because it puts her into focus that, oh shit, I might be a grandmother soon as well. Just the look on her face. I mean, Erika Jayne looks good for age. She looks like she's a good maybe 38, 39. I'm sure she's like, what, mid-40s? But yeah, pretty funny scene. Now we also get into Garcelle being, nosy when she finds out that Tom, who is Erika Jayne's husband, he's 80 years old, and she asks him, well, how's the sex? Erika Jayne's like, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, she's explaining sex like, oh yeah, it's okay. It's fine. It's all right. I kind of thought sex was supposed to be mind blowing, but she's been with him for 20 years, and it is what it is. And Erika does bring up a good point. Like, a lot of people bring up that 33-year age difference, but she's been with him for 2 decades. So the love is real, I think. Like, in the one case where the younger woman bags the extremely old guy, like, I really do think she cares for him. During this scene, we also see a rare emotional occasion from Erika Jayne. She's talking about her son and Tom's relationship and how Tom has really like accepted her son as his own. And she gets a little misty-eyed. It's a little jarring because she's so frigid most of the time on this show. So it's nice to see, like, finally we get some type of like emotional vulnerability from Erika Jayne. Meanwhile, across town, we have Teddy at her place, and can I say, she has a fabulous house. It overlooks the beach, really nice. She's getting things together for her retreat, and she's inviting all the women to it. Now what she does is she sends a very passive-aggressive text message to everyone, basically saying, I know that not a lot of you may like doing it, so you don't have to come. Don't feel obligated. And it just came off really passive-aggressive, and cut to all the housewives getting their reactions to it, and Garcelle especially. Oh, then I'm not coming then. Since I'm not obligated, thank you. So the next scene, we have Denise, getting her surgery. She's on the way there. We have some funny editing that shows her basically fast forwarding into the future, and then, after the surgery, she's on pain meds or whatever. Okay. Meanwhile, across town, we have Erika Jayne and Tom at the table. She's going over her contract of Chicago that she's doing on Broadway. Unfortunately, it got cut short here because of Dorona. And I think she only did maybe 4 or maybe 3 or 4 months here in New York. It's supposed to be like a whole 6-month thing. But then again, we see some more emotion from Erika, like when Tom says, I'm proud of you. And yeah, she just starts crying. And that's nice to see. And Tom also looks like he could be her father. Okay, so it's the day of Sutton's grand opening of her store. You have all the women getting ready. Denise can't come because she just got surgery and Kyle is still in New York. Renna is looking fabulous in this little leopard number she's wearing. She's in the car ready to pick up Teddy. And while they're on their way to the party, Renna says, well, girl, I'm just going to let you know I was talking shit, about that text message you sent. And, I guess, she's telling it to her face before, she sees it at home that she was talking about her. So in some unused footage, you see Renna saying she's not going and how the retreat's probably going to be boring or whatever. And then she brought up to Teddy that, girl, what you sent was really passive aggressive. Like, if you want people to come, just say it. And tell us what you expect us to do. Like, it's an all-day thing. Tell us, like, oh, do we have to be here, the whole time? Do you want us to spend the night or whatever? She's like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I want people to come if they want to, I don't want people to not come if they not really want to support me. And she was like, we do want to support you. And for some reason, she's thinking like the lady's going to come and like, bitch and complain or act a fool or whatever. So now I keep wanting to call her Tinsley. I don't know. You know what? I'm watching New York Housewives right now, and that's why. But yeah, Teddy. So Teddy's going to this party now, thinking, okay, well, let me just reiterate what I'm about to say when I see them. So we're at Sutton's party. What Sutton is wearing is terrible. It's couture. It's couture. She told everybody that it's couture, but it is it's kind of a mess. Like, she's packed in like some sausage, and her back rolls are kind of out. The ladies are all arriving. As soon as Dorit walks in, there's someone from the press asking her all about the business about PK's bankruptcy and shit like that. And then I'm surprised that Dorit didn't even ignore her, but I'm guessing she knows that the camera's watching and she want to come off as a bitch. So yeah, she answered the girl's question. She's like, thank you, Erica, and then kept it moving. I don't know, like Dorit, let me just say Dorit is on point with the fashions this week. So she's just so likable, I don't even have a problem with her. So then we have this scene of Sutton telling the ladies, I heard a rumor that the mayor is coming. And there was just like, oh, okay, the mayor of West Hollywood. And then Erica Jane's like, girl, it's not Obama. Like, what? And Sutton doesn't even know who the mayor is. And when she sees the mayor, she's like, oh, you're hot. To a bunch of glances from the wives looking at each other. So then he asks her to come up to the stage, and a little awkward moment where she's talking about parking tickets as he's trying to congratulate her. And yeah, Sutton is a bit of a character. Like, I don't like her, but she's entertaining, let's just say that. So we finally get to the ladies discussing Teddy's event, and then Dorit was like, girl, I'm gonna get there after lunch and then I'm gonna leave like later in the evening. And Teddy's like, okay. And then it came off a little passive aggressive, and then Dorit's like, well, is that okay? Are you saying okay in a mad way, or are you fine with that? So she says to everyone, I don't really care if you come or not, but if you want to come, you can come. More passive aggression, and clearly Teddy wants them all to show up. But for some reason, she's trying to make it seem like it's not a big deal to her, and it's coming off really stank to everyone else, especially saying like, I don't care if you come. And then Sutton's like, well, if you don't give a shit about me coming, then why should I come? Which is a good point. So then Teddy digs herself further in a hole by saying, I guarantee you it won't upset me if you come or not. To which everyone has all types of faces around. And then Renna, she knows she set up this whole moment. And yeah, and that's where the shit ends, basically. So my thoughts on the episode, I was pretty entertained, as always. It's weird that Kyle was not in this entire episode, hardly. Hopefully she's back. I mean, I like Kyle for the show. And plus she's the only OG. So it was just really weird not seeing her. We got an emotional reaction from Erica Jane, not once but twice. And for the last episode, I forgot I didn't do my signature Kyle. Goodbye, Kyle. It's really a shame that I can't say that on here because Lisa Vanderpump and Ken aren't on here anymore. But I'll try to put in a Kyle at least maybe once every other episode. So yeah. So yeah, next week's episode looks really juicy, like a little bit more drama than the last two episodes. So yeah, I can't wait to review that. So as always, like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all for the next episode.